As a woman and as a mother, we need to lead by example. So loving yourself needs to come first so that you can love another and so that you can, be a great example for your children or for the other women in your life, okay? And when you love yourself, you're going to vibrate on a different level, and your husband or your spouse or your, if you're single, this partner that you're going to meet down the line is going to be so attracted to you. They're going to be like, wow, she's got great energy, she's got confidence. She isn't conceited, but she truly, appreciates and loves herself. This is what we want, right, ladies? Welcome to the Girl Don't Settle YouTube channel, where I talk about all things relating to finding health, happiness, and fulfillment, because girl, you deserve to be happy, healthy, and fulfilled. As an empowerment coach and reinvention mentor, I am all about finding ways to love yourself better, finding ways to remove limiting beliefs that are blocking you from your true heart's desires and living your best life. I'm all about healing and growing and learning and really taking back control of our own lives so that we can live it out however we choose. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, do not hesitate to subscribe to the Girl Don't Settle YouTube channel and come join us on the Facebook group. It's also Girl Don't Settle. It's a private, women-only Facebook group where we chat about all of these things. Last week, we talked about love and sex addiction, and because it is Valentine's Day week, I figured I would keep on the topic of love. And so today we're going to talk about self-love and how we can, as women, build up our self-love and self-worth. Because all too often, I see women who are feeling down about themselves, feeling like crap about themselves. And even I still to this day struggle with, body confidence and certain aspects of self-love. But I am light years away from where I began, and I am here today to share with you some of the things that I learned on my self-love journey. And these are also things that I teach in my 10-week Radically Reinvent Yourself program, where we not only talk about self-love and deal with self-love, but we look at things like trauma, we look at things like realigning with values and dreams and goal setting, and so much more. But today we're going to focus on self-love because it is the week of love. And girl, whether you're single or taken, you deserve to be loved by you. And that is the most important love of your life. You must be the most important love of your life. It's true facts. There's no getting around it. Because if you can't love yourself, it is very difficult for others to love you. And you'll always have that peace missing within you if you can't find love for yourself. So this video is very, very important today. I hope you'll stick around and listen to the top 8 ways to build your self-love today. And these are all things that you can do from home. Now let's get started. So number 1 on the list today is taming that damn inner critic. Yeah, that one. The voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, you're fat, you can't do that. Oh, you're so stupid. Yeah, that one. That is what we refer to as the inner critic. And your inner critic is actually an inner bully. The inner critic biologically is there to help you strive for better, right? But all too often nowadays in this modern society, our inner critic has become our inner bully. And that is due to mass amounts of marketing on social media and commercials and movies and society at large, okay? We have a lot of pressure to be perfect and do things perfectly and be at a certain place in our lives at a certain time in our lives. But that does not mean that you should allow your inner critic to continue to bully you. So how I have helped tame my inner critic and how I help the women in my program tame their inner critic is by looking at the inner critic and building a positive relationship with it and setting up boundaries, okay? So just being aware that you do have an inner critic and that this voice in your head doesn't have to continue to be so negative, and realizing that you can take back control of your inner voice. I'd say the first step is just knowing and believing that you can control that inner voice, that inner critic, and believing and knowing. The science has proven that with repetition, you can most definitely retrain your mind. And so that's what a lot of my work is around. It's about reprogramming and retraining the mind, unconditioning the mind and reconditioning it with positive things. All right, so how I would go about, trying to set up boundaries with your inner critic is to write a letter. Yeah, so it might sound silly, but oftentimes when you can put words onto paper, it sort of solidifies what you're saying to your mind. So just try it at home, okay? Grab a piece of paper and pen and write a letter to your inner critic. And how you're gonna go about doing that is you're going to say something like, "Dear inner critic, although you have served me well in some areas of my life and some periods in my life, I find that you have become too harsh. You are becoming a bully, and I no longer am going to allow you to speak to me in such a negative manner. I would appreciate you encouraging me subtly rather than so abruptly. And I'm going to, starting today, I'm going to shut you down when you speak down to me. I will no longer put up with the belittling or the negative self-talk, or actually none of the abuse that goes on between us. Today I am putting my foot down. So I hope that you will respect these boundaries that I am putting in place starting today." And you would just write something like that. And you want to reassure and reaffirm that it's today, that it's starting today, because we're not talking in the future. We want to kibosh that shit like ASAP, okay? And that's going to lead to number 2 on the list, which is affirmations. And what you're going to do here is you're going to do what I like to call the catch and switch. So when the inner critic is saying something negative and saying something mean to you, you're going to catch it as often as you can throughout the day. You're going to catch that negative self-talk and you're going to kibosh it, and you're going to replace it with a positive affirmation. So if you're in the middle of something and you can't figure it out and you're like, "Oh, I'm so stupid." Like you hear that inner critic say, "Ugh, I'm so stupid." You're going to say, either just before you're about to say it to yourself or just after you hear yourself say that to yourself, stop it and say, "Actually, I'm pretty smart at a lot of things. I'm just frustrated that I can't figure this out right now, but I'm going to be patient with myself," okay? So you can turn that negative into a positive by not saying always the exact opposite, but even just, smoothing it out by saying, "I'm really smart at a lot of things," because it's true. You're not going to be great at everything, right? So you have to give yourself, you have to give yourself credit for the areas where you are smart at certain things, when you're going to call yourself stupid. Or if your inner critic is saying, "Ugh, you're so ugly. You know, when you're just having a bad day and you feel ugly, and when you look in the mirror, you know, you're gonna stop it and you're gonna say, you know what, I don't feel the greatest today, but I am beautiful. Or you can just cut yourself off right when you're about to say I'm ugly or think I'm ugly. You could just say I'm beautiful. Like, shut it down right away and don't even allow it to come out. You know, some people are better at just eliminating it and going straight to the positive affirmation, but if that's not up your alley and that doesn't feel right to you, then you can do like I said, and you can just turn it into a more positive comment. Like, right now I'm not feeling my greatest, but I am beautiful inside and out. Okay, so there's a couple different options there, but the main thing is, like I always say in most of my content, most of my videos, you'll hear me say that repetition is key. This is not something you can do for a day or two and just expect miracles to happen. This is retraining your brain. This is something that's going to take time, okay? It's like healing a really bad injury, you know? It does take time, and it's actually worse because, you know what, your inner critic has probably been around for a very, very long time, and so it's gonna take a lot longer to reverse it and to really train it and put up those boundaries and train your mind to start being kinder to yourself. But let me tell you, it is so, so, so worth it, because there's no better feeling than talking kindly to yourself and removing that little bastard that likes to, you know, be very mean and harsh to you. You do not deserve that. I don't care where you've been, what you've done, and where you come from. You do not deserve to be treated poorly by the voice inside your head or anyone else for that matter, okay? And another little trick that I stole from Marissa Peers, one of my mentors, is to write down your affirmations somewhere where you see it often. So I would say like a mirror. I always did my bathroom mirror or like my getting ready mirror, and so that I would see it every day and every morning when I got ready, and it would start my day off on the right foot. So writing, I am beautiful inside and out, or you are gorgeous, or you're gonna kill the day. Just something positive, or a few different positive affirmations written somewhere where you can see it daily. That is perfect. Or you can put sticky notes around in your office or on your dash in your car. Whatever it is, wherever it is, the more the better, the more the merrier. You got this? All right. So with that being said, let's jump to number 3. Number 3 is learning to love and appreciate your body. So let's face it, we're not all where we want to be physically. I sure as hell am not, okay? But, you know, the more that I appreciate and love my body, the more I feed it well and am more active because I love and appreciate myself, the more I start to, you know, notice changes in my body and I start to feel better about myself. So that would be one way to love and appreciate your body more, is to move it more and to feed it nutritiously, right? There's no better way to show yourself self-love than self-care. And another way that I would suggest, you know, learning to really appreciate and love your body is taking a night to yourself, okay? So you can try this at home, and if you are single this Valentine's Day weekend, maybe it would be a good idea to try this weekend, huh? So you can make it really, you know, beautiful and serene and peaceful setting where you're gonna feel really relaxed and comfortable. And if this is available to you, I would light some candles and, you know, I would turn off the lights and I would lay down in my bed. So you're gonna lay down in your bed and you're gonna, you know, close your eyes. You could do this with your eyes closed or open, whichever you prefer, but you're really gonna get in tuned with your body, one with your body, and we're really gonna work on loving and appreciating each and individual body part. I'm gonna make a separate video on this coming soon, where I can kind of walk you through step by step, but I'll give you the gist of it right now. Like I said, you're gonna lay down and you're going to go from one body part to the next, and you're going to touch it. So let's say your arms, you start with your arms. So you're laying there and you're touching your arms, and really feel it and love yourself. Like really try to feel like love and compassion for yourself. And then I want you to come up with a few different reasons why you love and appreciate your arms. So for your arms, for example, you could say, I love my arms because I am able to pick up my baby every day. I love my arms because I'm able to write, and I love my arms because I'm able to pick up my cell phone and call my loved ones. I love my arms because they help me every single day. So if you're someone like me who doesn't really love their arms in the sense where they're not where I want them to be, when I do this exercise, I really start to be compassionate towards myself and love myself where I am right now, although I am not at my ideal body weight. And I hope that will also work for you. I think it could, and I think it will. So I'd love for you to give it a try. Another example would be like to touch your stomach. I don't know if this is a sensitive area for you, but I know it has been for me in the past. So I put my hand on my belly, and you're gonna put your hand on your belly, and you're gonna say, I love my belly because it can bear a child. I love my belly because I can eat delicious food. I love my belly because it is my core and it helps the rest of my body's functions. You see where I'm going with this? Yeah, so you're gonna do that with every body part, and really try very hard with the body parts that you don't really desire all that much. Those are the ones that you really need to focus on and work on, okay? And if you do this a few times a week, you might start to realize that, wow, my body is quite amazing. My body is my temple. I really do appreciate and love my body. And that's gonna have a ripple effect where you're going to wanna cherish and treat your body better, which usually in turn means you're going to most likely start to eat healthier and be more cautious about what you put into your body because you love and appreciate it. All right, and who knows, maybe you'll start moving a little more. And that's a great segue to number 4 on the list, because number 4 is self-care and taking care of yourself. There is no better act of self-love than self-care, because when you learn to nourish your body and move your body and care for your body and not pollute your body with drugs and alcohol, that is showing ultimate self-love, right? Because if you love someone, you're not going to batter and abuse them. Am I right, ladies? That's what I thought. So start to implement some healthier habits. I don't know where you are in your health journey right now, but no matter where you are, I'm sure we can all use a little bit more nutrition in our lives. So you can add some fruits and vegetables to your diet. It could be a simple daily walk, like a 20-minute walk every day after or before work. It can be anything. Just show yourself a little bit more self-care, and that will go a long way in building your self-confidence and self-love. Another way that you can show yourself self-care is by treating yourself to a bubble bath, a candlelit bubble bath. It could be, doing a face mask at night, or it could be going for a pedicure. Whatever it is, whatever makes you feel good is what you want to do here. You want to make yourself feel good from the inside out or from the outside in. And it can be either way. Either way is good. So just implement a little bit more self-care, ladies. This is such a beautiful way to learn to love and appreciate yourself. Number 5. Number 5 on the list is a little bit different, And it might not be one that you thought of, but it is still pretty important. Number 5 is trying new activities and learning new skills. So this is such a huge one because I know for myself, feeling good about myself is not only about physical appearance, but it's also about feeling good about my life, feeling good about myself, and having self-confidence. And for me, and for many women out there, oftentimes building that confidence comes from trying new things. There's no better way to build, self-confidence than going out there and pushing yourself and trying new things. So is there an activity that you've thought about and you've always wanted to try, but you've never gone for it? That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Trying new things that you've always been intrigued by or interested in. Because once you get out there and do it, you build your confidence. You realize, wow, that's pretty awesome. I can't believe I did it. Especially if it's something that has a little tinge of, fear base in it. Another great way to build your self-love, because self-love and confidence go hand in hand, I would say learning a new skill is great for this. Learning a new skill will help you feel better about yourself, and in turn you will learn to love and appreciate yourself more, and that'll build your confidence. I know for me, when I learn a new skill or I learn something new, I feel a lot better about myself. I have a little bit more confidence in the way that I speak, and I feel better about myself. I feel, accomplished. I feel more confident in general. And this is great for self-love, ladies. And this can also be doing something that you love to do. Do you have a hobby or a passion? Doing those types of things that really drive you and fulfill you. That is really key to self-love as well, because you're reassuring yourself that you are worth doing the things that you enjoy doing, and it fills you up with good vibes and good feelings, which in turn is going to result in more self-compassion and self-love, which is what we're looking for. All right, so number 6 on the list is setting boundaries with anyone in your life who is making you feel bad about yourself. So in step number 1, we talked about setting boundaries with our inner critic, which is basically with ourselves and our own mind. But oftentimes we end up in relationships, whether that's with a significant other, whether that's with one of our parents, a friend, a family member, a classmate, whoever. If you have someone in your life who constantly puts you down or makes you, feel less than, you need to, 1, either cut them out of your life completely if that's feasible. 2, if that's not feasible, you need to have a talk with them and set up some healthy boundaries, because you should not be feeling down about yourself because of someone who is in your life and the way that they speak to you. I'm a firm believer that we should surround ourselves with positive people who are conducive to our healthy and happy lifestyle. And when we surround ourselves with negative people, or people who are abusive, or even people who just bring us down energetically, this can really have a huge impact on our self-esteem, our self-worth, our good vibes, our positive energy, and overall our life. Have you ever heard the term, you are who you hang out with? Yeah, well, that is very, very, very true. And I had to learn that the hard way. Okay, it took me a long time, like a lot of years. I was in denial about the people who I was hanging out with, because, I thought they were good people, and they were good people, but they weren't right for me in my life. If I wanted to be the best version of myself, I had to surround myself with positive, spirited people who lifted me up rather than brought me down. And I would suggest you doing the same. And when you do this, your whole life will start to change, because not only will you not have them holding you down and bringing you down, but you'll start to feel better about yourself, and you'll start to realize that there's more to life than what they have to offer. And you start to really see your value, the value of yourself and your life. And this is really good for your self-love. So if you need to put boundaries up with someone that is in your life, you can, I know this can be a tough task, but you can do this verbally or through a letter if you're not comfortable doing this verbally. But I would suggest definitely getting to that as soon as possible. And if the person that you are kindly, gently putting boundaries up with is not receptive to it, and they fight you on it, then I would take that as a clear sign that they're not someone who is self-aware enough or mature enough maybe to take responsibility for their actions. And again, you have to think about it. Is this someone that you want to keep in your life? Because as women, we need to know our worth. We need to know, and I need you to know, that you are worthy of being treated properly, and no one should be talking down to you. Not your inner critic, not your spouse, not a friend, not a family member. No one should be talking down to you, okay? That is not okay. And especially if your self-esteem and your self-love, is really low right now, there's predators out there that will take advantage of that, and they will knock you down even further. And then when you get knocked down to that level, it is hard to climb yourself out of that level of low self-worth and low self-esteem. But I want you to know that if that's you and if that's where you're at, I want you to know that you are so worthy of love from yourself and from others, and no one deserves to treat you poorly, because you are enough just as you are. We all have shit we have to work on. We all are at different stages in our lives and our growth, but that doesn't make us unworthy, no matter what stage we're at, okay? You are worthy. You're a worthy woman, a worthy human being. Just being born makes you worthy of, respect, love, and happiness. And that brings me to number 7. Number 7 on the list is start your day off with gratitude, my love. This is so important. And again, if you've been following me for any length of time, you know that I start my day off by putting my hand on my heart and going through a list of things that I'm grateful for before I even get out of bed in the morning. And it just starts the day off just right. And you might be wondering, well, what does gratitude have to do with self-love, Andrea? Well, let me tell you. Gratitude and self-love go hand in hand, because when you are grateful for your health, when you're grateful for your body, like in that exercise I talked about earlier in the video, when you are grateful for everything in your life, you are much more apt to just feel happiness and love from within. Starting your day off with love and gratitude in your heart will naturally bring more self-love into your life. It is very hard to, try to come up with a bunch of reasons why you're grateful for your life and for yourself without finding a little self-love in there. So give it a try, whether it's first thing in the morning, like when I do it, or throughout the day. Just remembering to stop in the moments, especially those very beautiful moments throughout your day, and the simple moments just as much. And just remind yourself how grateful you are to be here, to be alive, to be, sipping on your coffee, or, talking to your friend, or learning something new, or holding your child, whatever it may be. Just remember to be grateful, and you will naturally feel more love in your heart. Speaking of love, I am going to challenge you for number 8. Number 8 is number 8 is all about writing yourself a love letter. Yeah, how romantic. So you might think this seems a little cheesy, but I'm telling you, it is worth it. And you are worth a beautiful love letter from yours truly. So in my 10-week program, this is something else that we also do. We sit down and we write a love letter to ourselves. And in this love letter, there's a few key points. One, it is to appreciate ourselves. So writing out and thinking of all the different ways that you appreciate yourself, how far you've come, what obstacles you've overcome, what achievements you've had so far, what things that you are grateful for, and things that you're proud of. Jot those down in your love letter to yourself, show yourself some appreciation, and this will help bring up some things that maybe you don't think about on a daily basis, and you might realize just how amazing you really are. And the second one is forgiving yourself. So the second key point in this letter is to forgive yourself. So you're going to want to, if there's some kind of resentment you're holding on to about yourself, maybe, you stayed in a relationship too long. Maybe if you're in recovery like myself, you've done some things that you're not so proud of. Maybe you've hurt someone in the past. Whatever it is that you are holding on to, write yourself a forgiveness portion of the letter. And whatever it is, I need you to write down that you forgive yourself for that. And we do a lot more forgiveness work in the Radically Reinvent Yourself program. We dig a little bit deeper in that and how to overcome that. But in this letter in particular, just forgive yourself. Write to yourself a letter stating that you forgive yourself. So you're going to appreciate yourself, then you're going to write about how you forgive yourself and let that go. And then thirdly, you're going to promise yourself and commit to yourself for the future, just as you would if you were in a relationship. Kind of think about it as like wedding vows. You're going to commit to yourself to maybe get healthier, more fit, more active. Maybe you're going to commit to yourself to, more self-care daily, or whatever it is that you want to, come up with for the future. I want you to promise yourself some things and commit to yourself and write that down, and so that you can really solidify that to yourself. And that could just be simply that you're going to show yourself more compassion and more self-love, that you're going to be kinder to yourself, and that you're going to do more affirmations throughout the day. Whatever it is, write it down. Write this letter with true passion and really mean every word that you say. Because again, the love that you have with yourself is the most important love of your life. This is from, early on in your life to the very end. This is going to be the most important relationship you have with yourself as a woman. And if you have a child, you might think, no, I love my child more than myself. Well, I'm not saying you can't love your child more than yourself, but what I'm saying is that your love with yourself and for yourself is more important in a sense, because if you don't love yourself, that is going to rub off on your child. And I know this firsthand, because my mother was very, very insecure and lacked self-love and compassion, and was very hard on herself. And this in turn made me the exact same way. So as a woman and as a mother, we need to lead by example. So loving yourself needs to come first, so that you can love another, and so that you can be a great example for your children or for the other women in your life, okay? And when you love yourself, you're going to vibrate on a different level, and your husband or your spouse or your, if you're single, this partner that you're going to meet down the line is going to be so attracted to you. They're going to be like, wow, she's got great energy, she's got confidence. She isn't conceited, but she truly, appreciates and loves herself. This is what we want, right, ladies? This is what I strive for on a daily basis. And I hope that you will write yourself a love letter, because you deserve it. Write yourself a letter as if you are the love of your life. All right, beautiful. So I hope that these 8 tips are going to help you find more compassion and self-love for yourself, because you so deserve it. If you have any questions about how you can, go about doing this more with some coaching behind it, you can contact me directly, and I'll also put a link to my Radically Reinvent Yourself program below. But also, I am offering my self-love workbook for free to you ladies, and you can find that link below. So a lot of the steps that I talked about today will be in the self-love workbook, but it'll kind of have, written directions as to what to do and how to go about doing it. So if you need a little bit more guidance, please feel free to go to that link below and print your self-love workbook for free. Normally I sell it on one of my websites, but I am giving that to you for absolutely $0 because I love you. You deserve love, and I want you to really start to appreciate and love yourself for all the beautifulness that you are. And I even have a shirt that says, "Embrace the magnificent mess that you are." I sell it on my Etsy shop because honestly, even at my best, I am a complete mess. And you know what? That's okay. I'm starting to embrace that. I'm starting to love myself, flaws and all. And that is the key here. No one is perfect, but we need to learn to love all of ourselves, And when you're continuing to work on yourself and growing, even though you're not perfect per se, you start to really appreciate yourself, because you know that you're a work in progress. You know that you care and love and appreciate and respect yourself enough to put the effort in for yourself. And that's what really matters, and that's what's really key. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you love this type of content and are looking to feel happier, healthier, more fulfilled, please stick around. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and share with any women in your life who can definitely use some more self-love and self-care. And feel free to share that link too for the free self-love workbook, because we can all use a little bit more self-love, can't we? Anyways, love you guys. I'll talk to you next week. Bye. Mwah.